Morning everybody, I've just come back from the Broadstairs Food Festival where I picked up a few bottles of Gad's Green Up Ale. It's absolutely delicious. So if you're planning on having a nice relaxing weekend with a few cold beers, I'd recommend excuse me, that you get down to your local off licence and pick up some bottles of Gad's Green Up Ale. I'm not advertising for Gad's Brewery, I'm just spreading the word about an absolutely delicious local product. There you go. That's all I'm doing. But yeah, I've been toying with the idea for quite some time now about doing video blogs, and I'm a little bit fed up of typing everything, and I thought it might be a bit more interesting to have the odd video once in a while on my blog site, and it could be a new way of doing things. So let's begin, and ironically enough, the very first thing I want to blog on is filming at council meetings, and literally just this morning I got this letter from a solicitor employed by Thanet District Council who's reporting back on his recommendations following complaints about the fact that I took some photographs at the council meeting at the beginning of the summer. Now, the reason I took those photographs was because two councillors had a bit of an argument and were squaring up to have a punch up. So I thought, I had my camera with me, that it was only right and proper and in the public interest to take some pictures of these two guys and to publish them on my blog site and in the newspaper to show what your elected representatives get up to once in a while, and I think that's fair comment. So I find it rather strange that Thanet District Council would want to employ a lawyer at great public expense to investigate my misdemeanours, when actually I was, I believe, reporting in the public interest. The interesting thing is as well, at the very time that the council spent public money on employing a lawyer to find against me and tell me off, is that the government has been arguing now for about, 18 months, that local councils should welcome in the public with their cameras, with their video cameras, with their recording devices to film what goes on at meetings of the council. I mean, after all, councillors like myself are democratically elected, and we should be able to account, and we should be filmed and recorded in what we do. And then you'll know how good or otherwise we're doing our job, and certainly otherwise might be the case in a lot of instances in Thanet. So the government's been saying that council should do this. Thanet District Council has been investigating people for doing it and spending public money, and there will be a report produced in due course, I'm sure, saying I've been a very naughty boy. Well, the fact of the matter is that there should be transparency and openness. And I'll do that again if circumstances dictate that there's a need to report in the public interest. The other interesting thing is as well, on Thursday the council actually met to discuss the filming of council meetings, and there was quite a long discussion about what the council should and shouldn't do. The council, in its wisdom, the Labour Party and the Conservatives voting together, have decided that the only people who can film at council meetings are going to be accredited members of the press. So then the only way that an accredited member of the press can film is with the permission of the chair of the meeting they wish to film. So rather than following the advice of the government and allowing ordinary men and women to bring their camcorders in if they really want to do, what Thanet Council is doing is turning its back on government advice and saying the only people who are allowed in with cameras are professional journalists. Well, that's absolute nonsense. And interestingly enough, on the evening of the council meeting, a lot of people went home and started using Twitter and Facebook to make comments about the council's ridiculous decision. Who got involved in the online debate but Eric Pickles, the Secretary of State for Local Government. Now, my goodness me, it's very strange to exchange Twitter messages with a government minister at midnight after a council meeting, but Eric Pickles said quite clearly on Twitter on the night of the council meeting that Thanet Council should let the cameras in. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what the Thanet Conservative group do. I mean, Eric Pickles is their Conservative Party boss. He's one of the most senior people in the Conservative Party, and he's saying that cameras should be let in. So I'm hoping Councillor Bob Bayford and all his Tory group on Thanet District Council will now change their line and will allow the cameras in. And that's certainly something I'm going to be pushing for. Now they've had clear instructions from the top of their party. But honestly, that's probably not going to happen, because in Thanet, the Labour Party and the Conservative Party are many, many years behind the thinking of their party leadership, and that's why they're very backward in a lot of their ideas. But the interesting thing is that there are a lot of local people who are now saying that the council's got it totally wrong, and campaigns are going to be started to allow filming in the council chamber and at the other meetings as well. I'm certainly going to be supporting and joining those campaigns, and who knows, it might well involve some direct action, as it has done around a few council meetings in different parts of the country. So it's going to be quite an interesting time to try to force the council to overturn this absolute ridiculous situation. Because I personally believe if you operate a council in secrecy, then dodgy decisions get made. Just look at Trans-Europa Ferries. All the decisions about the 3.3 million of public money that was wasted by the council were taken in secrecy, absolute secrecy. Nobody knew about them. The only reason that we found out about Trans-Europa is when the ferry company went bust doing all this money. Had they not gone bust, then there would have still been secret deals going on that were kept away from councillors and the public. So I think letting the films in, letting the cameras in, actually is a good thing, because it opens up democracy to the public eye. It sends out a clear message that secret governance is a bad thing, and I think it can only be right. So I'm certainly going to be working as hard as I can to get the council to change its decisions. And from the research I've done, there's been more than 50 councils in the past year up and down the country who have changed their rules to allow the cameras in, whereas Thanet District Council has gone the other way and is actually restricting who can film, and you can only be a journalist. And then you've got the incredible thing of letters from solicitors threatening to take disciplinary action against me, or to ask me to apologise for filming two councillors having a punch up. How stupid can you get? If situations like this arise again and I happen to have a camera with me, then I am going to take photographs, and I will, because Thanet Council is far too secret in its decision making, and I think it's time for it to open up. Well, that's the end of my little Saturday morning rant, and I'll have some of that green beer later on with a nice takeaway curry. I think that's my plan for the evening, and I trust that everyone's going to have a wonderful weekend, and I'm going to certainly be trying to make a few more video blogs, so I'll try to make them a little bit more scripted and a little bit more shorter, because I'm making this up as I go along, but I'm ably assisted by one of my daughters, Vicky. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye, Vicky.
Not literally, but thank you. This is my news. I'm going to do the chicken man. Don't understand, stare, do the gentleman. Thank you for watching. Bye.